Here we go. So if that's Sean, I don't know if that's Potros or it is Sean, because you can see the diagonal bar in the front there. That must be a surely a mechanical, because looking at the order of qualifying, Ben Jenkins, you got it right, it's Ben.
Yep.
So what if it's just a strategical?
Well, this has to be a I don't know.
Mechanical, maybe.
It has to be.
Potentially get confirmation of that. But yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like I say, Ben Jenkins is the first one on the qualifying run list.
It can't be his run. I mean, even if it is, they shouldn't have put him out there. Ben Jenkins is the first qualifier. Hello to Zane Nickel. We met you earlier today with the school. I assume that's one of the team from Pukekohe High School. Big shout out to everyone who came along today. So look, this is the first qualifier now. Is he going to turn around and we'll confirm if it's a qualifying run? Going to turn right, and that was just a mechanical.
So Ben Jenkins, Carter's tyres on the side of the 86.
Hello, David Hunter. Who else has just turned up? Oh, hello, Laura. Do you know Laura? She's lovely.
Why isn't David Hunter here? David, why aren't you here?
He's too busy eating perky nanas.
Wow. Breaking news, Steve.
What?
Sean Potros. Could be a blown engine. So he left their line, initiated, grabbed 1 point from each of the judges to get an average of 1.
And now he's going to go back to
somewhere,
West Auckland, and
rebuild an engine overnight. Ben Jenkins anyway, meanwhile, is the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship round number 2. It's pro qualifying time. 2JZ powered 86, 750 horsepower under the bonnet for Ben as we send these guys backwards around the club circuit here. And I mean, these guys would spend lots of time out on track as well here, wouldn't they?
They certainly, they would. So that's an outer zone here. We'll come and see them grab the outer zone at this point here. A little bit off for that clip, and then they've got to bring the nose back down, which is, I mean, this is definitely going to be the highest run of the day so far.
So Ben Jenkins, I'll hopefully remember the yellow Ben, some sort of tie in there throughout the weekend, orange Troy. As he comes through nice and wide.
TM Electrical GT86, Team Jenkins Motorsport. That is Ben Jenkins behind the wheel. I can tell you how I remembered it if you really want me to.
Okay.
Okay, so I used to always get the boys' names wrong. And then I changed the colours of their cars to just yellow for Ben and orange for Troy. The yellow was the same as a lemon and the orange is the same as an orange, and it was Troy that was more sour at me and lemons are sour, and that's how I work it out.
Ah, that's what I remember, some story about the lemon.
I'm going to improve.
It is.
But as I always said to them, I'd never forget to mention the likes of TM Electrical.
Now, I don't know if the camera shot is deceiving or not, but you can see the toe-in that Ben has got.
Almost looks like rear toe-in.
It looks like a lot of rear toe-in to try and get more grip out of that 86. And the wet, we spoke about how they would have been practicing all morning.
One of the things that we didn't speak about, which I did get a reminder from my incredible director, that our judges have what they call a DSO system, so they actually get to see all of the angles that we've got on offer to them. They get themselves. They get the so. Sometimes when we've got delays like this, that's because right now I haven't seen a score come up, and the reason we haven't seen a score come up is maybe the judges may be deliberating over what score they should be giving.
There we go. 3 judges, speaking of, Andrew Redwood, Joel Counter and Jarius Wharedo up in the box again this weekend, and a new qualifying points system for the D1NZ Championship this year is a average of the 3 scores. So we'll bring those to you as the weekend goes on, as the afternoon goes on. And yeah, you can see the toe-in that he's got in the rear of that car, looking for ultimate grip out of the 86. Ben Jenkins throws it in for the second part of his run.
Doesn't get much more home track advantage than the Jenkins brothers. When you don't have to bring a trailer to drifting and you don't actually leave the circuit, that's always a good sign. Good looking cars. They would look even better at the next round as well. Oh, listen to that. An RB couldn't do that.
How much? Limiter? Yes.
All of it.
Comes through to complete his run. Ben Jenkins, he's backed an 84.7 average at the moment.
That's after the first run of the day of his. So of course we'll see a score come through. So 84.7. Currently sitting in provisional first place with Sean Potros in second. So like, don't offer anything extra to it, and you can make anything sound amazing. What else have you got?
So there it is, Troy Jenkins this time. See the orange accents on the 86. So TE Electrical, you're saying, Steve? Naming right sponsor for them this weekend? TM Electrical. TM. My apologies. And take a look at that car sitting on the line. Looks very similar setup as well. I think he's taken one of Ben's rims, just judging by the yellow on the back there.
I reckon they were all Troy's in here. Hang on. Okay. I was going to say, it just left the rim. I'm like, it just changed colour. It's a replay.
So the judges say like that word deliberating, don't they? They use that a lot.
I know what they were looking at. Had he initiated. And now they're going to go up and look and see, did he initiate his drift soon enough? I think the answer is yes. Still haven't seen a second score. That was nice there. Of course, you don't go and risk everything. Like, you hit a ripple strip normally and it just sends you around, so. And we have got a second score come through for the second run. Wasn't as good as his first, with an 81, an 84 and an 80 with an average of 81.7. The first run though was an 84, an 87 and 83 for an average of 84.7. So Ben Jenkins will take that one there as we see his brother out on track. It is Troy Jenkins' turn in the second of the TM Electrical Team Jenkins Motorsport machines.
So getting right out to those cones as well, looking really good through the first part of his run. Troy Jenkins, lots of limiter, and he's pulled on lots of angle as he came through the first turn. Looks to fill out that outer zone there on the way past as well, doing a good job.
Yeah, that's a good looking lap.
And yeah, slipping and sliding around on this wet. But I mean, this certainly won't be the first and it won't be the last wet lap that Troy's done around here.
So you'll see the colours that are on the side of the rims. What that mainly is, it's on the rear to just finish the lap. That's better. So that's actually so that if you see any massive great handbrake drags, you can see that contrasting colour, so that we can use our camera technology to understand what the driver's doing. So that's the reason why. So you'll see the colours on the front and the back. It's in the case of a big handbrake slide. We'll have a look and see if we can see what we mean here, Tony.
So as he comes into this, I'm sure he'll grab a little bit of handbrake there.
No, he's straight on it.
No, he did too.
Just a dab of the left foot brake.
And of course we wouldn't have known that if we couldn't see. It looks quite cool how it changes two spokes, 3 spokes, 5 spokes.
Nothing will ever be good looking 3 spokes though.
Oh,
there it is. Okay, well hang on, we'll talk about that one. And I spoke to the judges prior and they were like, one of the things that they talked about was not pulling a big handbrake coming into that second turn. And the judges, well, actually we might look at it as a dab. You're allowed to dab, but you're not allowed to do the massive drag.
Big drag, yeah, okay. So second half of Troy Jenkins' run. And knowing that he banked a score, potentially could be a bit more aggressive in this run. Look at the way that he's filled that outer zone all the way around there, looking really good. Troy Jenkins in the 86. Great car control in the slippery conditions. So look for the handbrake drag here. Here he is, just a little dab like you said, Steve, not a big drag. Gets out to that cone as well. So great car, good understanding between car and driver here. Troy Jenkins in the 86. And there's a decent drag into the final corner for him. Narrows it up and he'll get hard on the limiter. Pluck through gears.
And by doing so is now sitting at the top spot, 85-point average. He got an 86, an 84 and an 85. For that equals an 85 average for first position. Troy Jenkins currently, Ben Jenkins sitting in second position from Sean Potros in third. Let's have a look at the replay. Troy's run.
Troy Jenkins, watch how well he fills out this outer zone all the way around turn number 1 and sits all but a couple of inches off the edge of the track there. Real good shots come in there and then shoots right out to the cone as well. The judges will be happy with that second run. As I say that, Andrew Redwood gives him an 89. Joel Counter gives him an 87. Jarius Wharedo gives him a 90. That will give him an 88.7. Enough to go to the top and gives him a fair few. Has 4 points buffer over his brother Ben. And confirming Sean Potros with those engine issues. All he had to do was leave the line to get himself a point, which will put him into the battle tree tomorrow. But he'll be sitting down in 21st spot. Of course, Jace Brown.
Yes, of course, that's another one. So
yeah.
He had some stuff on his Instagram page, so I didn't actually go into it, just sadly saw that he wasn't there. Tell you one that I'm very happy to see is there out of Tauranga. It is Kurt Blacky. Kurt Blacky in the LS powered 86. He's going for the backy.
So Kurt Blacky maybe had engine troubles in the first. Oh, he's going to spin it up. Here is Blacky. Had engine troubles at round number 1, and him and his crew doing the mahi. And I mean, probably all but good that he's had the extra time to get to round number 2. And not the start that he wants for his pro qualifying for round number 2 here at Hampton Downs. You have just joined us, welcome along to the live Facebook stream. Of course, free to you thanks to Repco.
Oh, what branch numbers? I didn't check my Repco branches. Next place we're going though will be branch 2.
I know branch 89 and branch 10. Both little branches.
I've definitely seen my fair share of Repco branches over the last couple of months. And you've got to go up and prove who you are. So I'm like, hello, could I please get such and such? Normally cable ties for events. And they're like, yeah, have you got some ID? I was like, can I put my Repco D1NZ voice on or something to prove who I am, because I've got nothing on me. So shout out to the team at Queenstown for accepting that one, and the team at Manfield. That's where we're going to next.
Looking forward to that one too.
Manfield, and that's we're going to do a back-to-back double header where we're going to go the standard the normal direction and then turn it all around, flip a 180. Don't do that though, Kurt Blacky. Don't flip a 180.
So Kurt Blacky, great little throw there, Steve. Throwing it in again for a second run. This time he wants to bank his score. Does Kurt Blacky in the Wolfie GD86.
He's joined the RHP Reed and Harrison performance team this weekend.
And doing a good job this time in the latter part.
I want to steal that ladder. We're going to go take it later.
A little dab of the handbrake as he comes into the final turn. Kurt Blacky and dials on the angle and starts plucking gears. I'd love to know the wheel speed of these cars as they, sort of pull gears coming off. I'm acting like I've got a sequential gearbox here. And
yeah, mine's more like
H pattern.
Nah, just drive.
Just put in drive and go.
It's funny, I said drive and actually I moved it into park. So,
so a replay of Kurt Blacky's second half of his run. He's going to bank his score. Most certainly this time it's better than a 1. And
we're still in the top 5 at the moment, even without the score.
So nice and shallow through the first part, but being conservative, needed to bank a run. Did Kurt Blacky, and right out to that out of zone.
Yeah, they're just sort of indicating he was only about 1.5 meters off. I'll tell you one person who will be on is this man right here, Calvin Clark. He's gone, he's a big boy now, he's got an RB30, Kakete the SR, and welcomes the RB to the stables. Limitless Tyres, Smith Industries, and we all know that he's a prime avocado. It is out of Tauranga, Calvin Clark.
So Calvin Clark in the S13 throws it into the first corner nice and early on the initiation is Calvin, and eyeing up that outer clip. He's gone right out there.
Oh, and a push.
Yeah, big push on the front steering. Kept the drift going though, yeah. And the wet, it's hard to say. That car getting through the second half.
Certainly didn't straight line. Splash through a puddle. It's the other bonus of wet weather. You can't.
A little bit of a bobble there through the latter part as well. Tucks it down and he'll dial on the angle for the last corners, Calvin, and get right out to that outer zone. I like where they've put the outer zone on the final corner. It's right out there on that pit.
I just like it with that bungee the whole way down the straight. Hello to Cole Armstrong. He will be watching Calvi, no doubt, from Armstrong Plumbing in Papamoa, servicing the Bay of Plenty. Let's have a look at the replay. See what everything that Calvi did right. Now, don't point out anything that we think is an issue. like that.
Oh, he got right out to that clipping point. A little bit of a push there.
The rear end was still sideways.
He kept it going. So it's just the lack of grip in the front end there. And he's going to fill that out of zone nicely as well as he tucks his nose down through the puddle there.
Just a grab of the handbrake.
Good angle.
Oh, there's something he's going to get in trouble for. Okay, Calvi, while you're there, can I get you to put some stickers or something onto your rear rims? Because right now, you ain't got any, and that's not okay.
And there's that, oh, the final point. I was going to say that's where the final point is. So here comes the second half of his run, qualifying run that is. Calvin Clark, they've put him down for a 1 point score in the first one. So what the judges saw is probably a straight line potentially.
See, Kurt Blacky's score came in for his pass as well, which was a 72.7. Here goes my new ladder at the background.
Did you leave it out there, Steve? Or?
No, I didn't, but I'm going to go and take it.
Just put a high vis on and you can claim it. So Calvin looking really good in the second run of his qualifying this time around. And he'll bank a good score there. Getting nice and close to those clipping points. Hello to Geordie Cole as well, tuning in. Missed when the comment came in, but the entry was on. Dare I say that was probably about Troy Jenkins' one. Oh, the replay coming through there, Calvi. Clark and the Prime Avocado, there's 13. A little bit shallow on that out of zone there. And getting nice and close to the outer clip there. Throws it nice and hard and stacks on the angle for the final corner. Just a couple little dabs of that handbrake. Of course, these guys need to slow down and find the grip levels on this wet circuit. Nice. Oh, with a nice in-car view. Look at that.
Oh, it's riding on board with one of the Team DSR cars. This will be Adam Davies. He'll be making his way back out. That is a... What sort of motor is that?
Well, I think it's the best sounding car that we've got in D1NZ at the moment.
Unless another one of those comes in. Well, this is what I think is the best sounding car in the D1NZ. That is a Hartley Engines of Motorsport one GZFE, which is a V12, and that is Jaren OBrien behind the wheel.
So Jaren throws into the first corner, but shallow through the first one there in the parts trade Lexus. Beautiful looking car though. And well, let's just take a chance to see if we can hear and just listen to that V12 scream. There it is.
He can make the same sort of power. It sounds like a Tesla without having to be a Tesla. With the McLaren running around the back end.
A great sounding car there. Of course, like you said, Steve, built by Hartley's Engine and Motorsport from Palmerston North.
Yeah, that one there was built by Nelson Hartley. It was literally developed for that drift car, or for that drift family, for the Olive Krona drift team. And since then, they've gone up and they've put them in all sorts of different vehicles.
So it's about the second or third motor, but maybe fourth, is it?
I think this is their second or third. The first one they ended up bringing back in, and it became the third one, and the second one ended up going to one of the Asian countries to put into like a hypercar type thing. And yeah, Nelson Hartley, he's a genius.
Here it comes again, good sounding. I won't say the best sounding car.
Okay. You know,
D1.
if they got rid of the turbos, they'd still be able to make the same power, and it would be the best sounding car. It'd be banned from every track in the country, though, just like many a Rotary's had in its day.
Jaren OBrien, run number 2 for him. They've got him down for a 1 point score in the first run, so a straight line they've spotted, and I think that might have been late in the run. So Jaren, he's looped it.
2 1s equals 1, so he'll be qualifying down in 21st, 22nd position. So there's definitely going to be 3 drivers today that will set a 1 point score now well, actually, one's not going to get a one point score because no Jace Brown.
Isn't it how good that car sounds, though? Finishing off its qualifying lap, so he'll still be through. He'll be tied with Sean Potros at the bottom of the qualifying tree.
Oh, I just realised I'm also live streaming the drifting today.
Oh, look at that.
There we go. It's good cross-posting. Don't watch it on mine, make sure you watch it on D1NZ, and this is, look at that. Michael Bond, what is that orange mess there? Let's go up and ride on board and see what it's like to... Now, of course, remember, at some point, straight out the window. That is the best shot, though, to just show you how sideways these cars get.
And I tell you what, he's quite calm on the steering wheel as well, not a whole lot of movement. Adam Davies looking really good out there from the inside of the car. Oh, he's hesitating to grab that handbrake.
Never.
And he's going to do well. He didn't even need to.
He's going to hold on to it too.
That's called filling it out of zone. And Adam Davies.
He's going to go to the top.
Little dab of the handbrake there. And now let's see how many gears he plucks, or if he plucks any. Coming off that final corner. Going to be Green Brothers built from out of Tauranga. 850 horsepower under the bonnet out of that triple rotor 20B.
850 horsepower, that's crazy.
And that's probably an easy 850 as well. We'll take an out-car replay of that, will we?
Wow, there's been 200 comments.
Is that on your one, is it?
No, yours.
Mine, D1s. So, there he is, Adam Davies. Such a good shot from the inside. And good car control, minimal work on the steering wheel. Just about grabs the handbrake through the middle there, but... So, you can see the raindrops falling all the way around, and Launchmaster Willie, tough as nails, if you will.
Anything else come through?
Do you think Steve the Mary's on the cast? Also, a massive shout out to the likes of Launchmaster Willie, not only himself but all the other D1NZ and Super Sprint volunteers out there in the rain doing it hard. Look at the state. I mean, you can see Adam Davies' window wipers are turned up a notch now.
Now, his teammate brought those along this morning. He replaced the sets on Dave Steadman's car and both of Adam's.
That would have come from Napa.
Yes, via
Absolutely.
Vehicle Service Centre on Aerodrome Road in Mount Maunganui.
So, there's obviously a big change in the track conditions for Adam Davies. He's sitting there on the line. You can see the car shaking. He's popped it out of gear. You saw him just quickly get on the sequential shifter there. He's banged it up into neutral. And not sure what we're waiting for at the moment. Launchmaster Willie. Hopefully he's not too cold out there. He's just wearing shorts.
It's Willie.
The rain well and truly falling. You can see it settling on the track around Adam Davies' car. The best powered Nissan in the
Debbie
country.
Clark, I know, we know the starter needs a raincoat. He will not ask for one. We was like, would you like one? No, I'm all right, G. So Troy Jenkins still leads the way at 88.7 in top spot, with Ben Jenkins sitting in second position. Calvin Clark, Kurt Blacky, Jaren OBrien. Let's see what this man here can do.
So he gets a thumbs up this time from Launchmaster Willie, and Adam Davies throws it into the first corner. And you can hear that 20B screaming. Big angle, he's going to over-rotate here. So Adam Davies, he did bank a score for the first run out of his 2 qualifying runs, and a big shake of the head. He's not happy about that one. He'll continue to send it through the rest of the section though. And dragging the handbrake.
Nothing's a problem for Team DSR.
So a 79 from Redwood, an 84 from Joel Counter, and an 85 from Jarius Farido gives Adam Davies an average of 82.7. That puts him into 3rd spot as they sit on the qualifying tree at the moment.
You know how
more to come.
You know how you go and have different social media companies have their one person who just goes through and deletes people off for making comments that people don't like.
Yep.
Or has the ones that will just come up and they'll get really overly defensive. I'd just like to acknowledge our D1NZ.
The mod?
Yeah, our moderator, our admin.
It's actually witty.
I say he, it might be a she. I think it's the stig of admins.
There's the over-rotation of Adam Davies.
The starter needs a raincoat. He said he needs, this is D1NZ admin's responses, he needs a beer and a hug too.
Next up for qualifying is the Magan Turbo S13, Bruce Tannock. Good to see him back at D1, and he is looking real close to the edge. That is as close as you can get to filling that outer zone on the first part of the section.
Welcome back, Bruce Tannock. Tries to smoke a poop kick on the way through. Look, there's Darren Kelly in the background, decided to finally turn up. Just to go up and watch what's happening with this. Nah, that's still on.
No wheel drop there.
Last time we were here, Cole Armstrong was in the final with Bruce Tannock, and Bruce pushed out wide, and oh, don't you scratch it. See, that's got to score well. Like, he has filled every outside zone. Yes, we're going to see points deductions, but
still a good point score. So look at how close he gets the. You cannot get any closer to the outer zone or filling the whole outer zone all the way through. And there's the Pukeko doing his best to get smoked, but
trying to hit for a pungetry. So of course they're back to back, so we'll see them get, you'll see Bruce Tannock head back to the start line again, and that was just dirt on the track.
Oh, brilliantly
if that was Luke Fink, we would have said that was 4 wheels off. You wouldn't have, you would have missed all of it. All right, let's have a look at run number 2. It's the Magan Turbo Achilles RB30 powered Nissan S13. No, that wasn't a correction. That wasn't a wheel off. That wasn't a hit the cone. But that is Bruce Tannock.
So Bruce Tannock will get a deduction for that, and maybe a straight line. Depends what the judges will see there. But no, not like you said.
It's a cool looking car. Just give him style points.
And he's going to come right out. He dropped a wheel here last time. He's kept them all on the track this time around as Bruce Tannock. And another wheel off there as well. And Stakes are plenty. He'll be happy with his first run. Speaking of...
Let's have a look at his first run. He got a 90 and a 91 in his first run. He got 2 points of deduction. And he will end up with an 87.3. He being Bruce Tannock's second position currently. Well, let's have a look at the replay. All right, all I see is perfection, RB perfection. There wasn't a correction there. He didn't smoke the cone right there. I really need to stop saying smoke the cone or I'm going to get cancelled.
I didn't even think about it. I don't know how I didn't pick that up beforehand. Big over rotation here, and then he straightens up, does Bruce Tannock, and comes through to complete his run. I like the way, I mean, it's very simple but effective delivery on Bruce Tannock's car. Next on the line though, Clayton Deli.
In the RHP Reed & Harrison Performance Limitless tyres. They do my tyres on all my vehicles. They're in Hewlett's Road in the Mount. This is an LSX, it's 454. Of course, it's 725 horsepower. I reckon that's lies. It's got to be 800.
Just toned it down a little bit, you reckon, just
maybe
to make it not look as good. Of course, former car out of the Donovan.
Yes, it's still got a bit of DM. Is that the one that's still got a bit of DMNZ on it? Oh, let's have a look. What a bike. That's what it was. They're blunt umbrellas.
Ah, blunt umbrella.
Yeah, there's Andrea Griffin. She just sent me a picture of her. Stocky's got a blunt umbrella, and my wife all with their fancy blunt umbrellas. Probably not mention blunt after I mention.
You can't actually tell whether Stocky's got his up or not. You can't even see it if you're in the wrong sort of angle because it's camo, so you lose it.
It's a vibration in the back. I think that's exhaust running low.
So in goes Clayton Deli, throws the Supra into the first corner. And you see the wheel speed building up, and he gets right to the outer zone as well. Looking good through the first corner as Clayton Deli.
And he's slacking.
He'll set out second outer zone and right out on the ripple strip. He's got that well under control through the centre part as well. Right to the outer zone, number 4 as well. And a little dab of the handbrake. So a pretty clean run here from Clayton Deli. And the Reed & Harrison Performance Supra as he throws it to the last outer zone and looking really good. That is a good run in the LSX powered Supra. And we'll take a look at the replay of this one. So leaves the line. See the initiation. Nice and early. You can see the cones come into play now. So the section doesn't start.
Don't smoke them.
And there we go. Fills all the outer zones, getting right to those cones. And then you were at driver's briefing. I missed that, Steve. Are the ripple strips still counted as on the track?
I've missed that part there.
Okay.
Did you ask if I was at driver's briefing?
Oh, were you actually at driver's briefing? I assumed you were. That was a bad assumption. I apologise.
I tell my wife never assume. If you want to assume, though, you can assume that you can watch all of this live. Tomorrow we're going to start off with a bit of Pro Sport here on Facebook before switching over to the Pro Championship at 1:30 on Sky Sport. If you're in Australia, you can tune in on Fox Sport KO, and of course anywhere else around the world on motorsport.tv. Of course, if you want to move on and just check out what's happening on Sunday, it was the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand Championship, round number 7 here at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. You can see it all again from 10 a.m. New Zealand time. All the action out on track.
So Clayton Deli comes through to finish the second of his qualifying runs. This time pushes it even wider, but keeps the wheels on the track there. And I almost thought the first half of that, like we still had the little replay button up in the top corner, and I thought it was a carbon copy.
Pretty much. The second run, eh? I was like, I can talk about that. I can do a throw and talk about how great it's going to be tomorrow on Sky Sport. I think this is a third run.
A couple of solid runs.
Now, what's the go with the Reed and Harrison cars? Because if you notice, they're all the same, except the P is always a different colour. So sometimes you'll have a blue one or a pink,
orange. Yeah, different colours. He's a silver one. Anyway, Clayton Deli scores are in.
Anything? How's he looking?
Andrew Redwood gives him a 92.
Wow.
Joel Counter gives him a 94. Ooh. And Jarius Farido gives him a 94 for an average of 93.3. Clayton Deli to the top of the qualifying for the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship.
And moving on from that, that was the second run. The first run, sorry, that was the first run. The second run was good enough for top qualifier as well. Both of those being the best two spots. Hello, Ryan and the team from Kiwi Recovery.
Taking a whole new meaning to clipping point. And make sure he puts that on the right cone.
Shouldn't do this, but just so my director doesn't think that I wasn't listening to him, I just said hello to and acknowledged. All right, let's have a look at, is this Kim Thorley?
Michael Thorley out in the Laurel this weekend. Any insiders into why he's driving Kim's car?
Because she's done so well in it that he's like, I can do better. I'll tell you what, you can't.
Michael Thorley, 750 horsepower RB30 in the Laurel.
Told you so. That was your fault as well.
I started looking through that. I was like, that's the 180 that I'm talking about.
I thought that they had, haven't they got about 6 180s and 12 Zafiros?
So unsure what's happened here.
Like a Mitsubishi Galant from the front. Valvoline on the side. Hello again to Rod from Valvoline. What happened here? So he got sideways. You started talking about how great it was, and then this is what you did. You know what it is? It's big. So what actually put him off then is not having an offset colour on his rear rim.
Ah.
I think that's what.
Okay, here we go. Thanks to Megan Foster. It's not Kim's car. It is the spare Laurel, one of the 7.
Hey, JJ.
Another cool shot from inside Jordan Joyce's S14, the stock Street Autos Elite. Look at the gear that's inside these drift cars these days. Sequential gearboxes, big billet handbrakes.
Certainly not lacking in any form of drifting globally, are they? Elite performance on the side. That is a 2JZ under the bonnet, and this an S14, 870 plus horsepower. It is Jordan Joyce who'll have some work to do, trying to help Sean Potros get his car ready. Leading at the top of the moment is Clayton Deli from Troy Jenkins, Bruce Tannock, Ben Jenkins and Adam Davies. That's the top 5, and this is a man who'll be trying to break into that right now. His first run of the day. D1NZ Pro qualifying here at Hampton Downs. This is round number 2. This is Jordan Joyce.
Jordan piles on the angle early in the section, gets to fill that outer zone right out there to that clipping point. Doing a great job. Sam carry it wide to the second one there. Looking pretty good in the first half of the run is Jordan Joyce. And let's take a look inside. A couple of dabs on the handbrake. He's in third gear. You can see a little indicator on the dash.
Yes, there's a shot here because it doesn't matter what you do. The judges won't be able to see. Get back in there. We can give him a 100 score.
And actually, that's probably one of the closest to the clipping point in that final turn that we've seen as well.
Love to see how close it they actually get. It's very difficult to actually be able to set up some of these camera shots that we have. And nice work to the Inspire team. Inspire U team.
Jordan Joyce banking a score. Take a look at that again. There we go. So it was a nice early initiation wide around that arc. Look at it, fills that clipping point beautifully. And then washes wide to pick up that second clipping point there as well. And then just some great shots. Obviously, if it was a fighter day, you wouldn't have the condensation as such. And then check this clipping point here, Steve. It's probably the closest we've seen to that outer zone on the final corner from any of the drivers so far today.
Well, it gets given a thumbs up by Launchmaster Willie. We'll get ready to go again. As we see Jordan Joyce working that high line.
Carbon copy the first corner for Jordan Joyce, looking really good through that zone.
It's definitely fast, like for the conditions.
Well, relative decent drag on the handbrake, but a little, we'll call it a dab. And geez, he's quite good in these conditions, isn't he, Jordan? He's getting exactly where he needs to be for those clipping points in those outer zones. Hear the throttle control from Joyce. Slipping and sliding through there. Look at the moisture on the surface as well. Is that enough for him to get up into the top spot? Looks pretty good. So after his first run, he's banked 89 points. That's enough to put him up into second place. Still no better than both of Clayton Deli's runs. See what his second run brings from the judges.
So there'll be 11 drivers have come through. We've got a first top 10 at the moment.
I think Sam West that's on the line. Looking forward to seeing Sam out there on the circuit. He's been getting around a little bit, doing some drifting around the country.
All right, well, let's have a look at the qualifying so far. Clayton Deli leads with a 93.3 from Jordan Joyce, only a few points in behind. Third place currently is Troy Jenkins from Bruce Tannock. From fifth place is Ben Jenkins, 84.7, and then we move back to Adam Davies, Calvin Clark, Kurt Blacky, Jaren OBrien is on a 1, as with Sean Potros. That's the top 10 so far.
So a big night ahead for Sean Potros. If you have just tuned in and haven't heard the news, he has a suspected blown motor. What he did manage to do was leave the line, which gave him the points. Speaking of leaving the line, Sam West off for his first run qualifying.
As Sam West flies through, again running that mid to high line right on. Look how much angle he's running.
He's Sam West. That looks really good through the first part of qualifying for him, and he's going to fill the outer zone beautifully there as well. Always good qualifying runs for Sam West, and keeps it well on track as well. Big angle for the 180.
Remember the first time you ever called D1NZ, you said, watch this guy here, this is Sam West. He's going to top qualify and probably win the round. Do you remember what happened that time?
Well, I can't see into the future normally.
But he top qualified, was the furthest to hitting that clipping point. Has finished the section now, and he won the round. You think he can do it this time?
Tell you what, that looks like it's good enough to going to number 1. But speaking,
photo, and it's just ridiculous. It's 3 people with very fancy umbrellas.
and look at the angle before the section even starts. So he initiated early with Sam West, and the angle is huge as he comes through, more than from any other driver. Nice and close to that clipping point as well. And he comes through to pick up the second clipping point. Dees is only a metre off that as well, one of the closest we've seen. And then stays off the ripple strips there as well, unsure if that's a deduction or not. And then gets to that outer zone as well. So the only one that we didn't see him improve on, if anything, was where Jordan Joyce was nice and wide for that there.
And this will be the second run. It is Sam West behind the wheel. Jason Ober's builders on the door. And he got an 88, an 89, and 93 in his first run. I don't know what the judges are looking at. 90 points for him. I'll tell you what he is looking at. A pretty good run. Sitting in third currently. Can he get any better?
And that's, oh, he's going to... Looks like an over-rotation.
No,
he's just hung on to that. Wow, the angle.
That's called angle and style.
That is huge angle from Sam West there. And there's that out of zone fulfillment. Geez, that's a big word. And he's going to over-rotate on the final turn.
No, he's going for a throw. Oh, yeah, okay. Look at that. Nice grabbing too. Special mention to the team in the broadcasting truck. Great replays as well. Kyan's amazing at his job. He does all the replays.
Speaking of replays, there's that one from Sam West. Massive angle. Its initiation is so early on the wet track. And this was looking to be a massive score for Sam.
Look at that,
closer.
Pulling it.
Yeah.
But you're scrubbing off so much speed when you're doing that. Now I want to have a look over here since we can. As he comes through, wanting on so much angle, does he actually straight line here? Like there. Now it doesn't matter because the only reason I'm asking is I wouldn't have drawn attention to that because he's toting us, so I've got to do my best to get him to come through. He obviously loops it at this point here.
He's look at the lock that 180's got all the way around. And the dry would have looked impressive. He would have been able to do a full 180.
Well, here's one I like to see. Who's that? That's it's Mongrel McManaway. James McManaway. One of the happiest mongrelist drivers in the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. Look at that. That is a definitely good-looking guy.
Supercharged LS, and I think the 800 horsepower this time is definitely low. I'm sure they've got over 1,000 horsepower in that thing.
Look at the ears on that thing. It looks like King Charles.
He tuned it. Little dab on the handbrake as he comes into the final corner. James McManaway, JDM Drift. And a great colour, that car. Just gets right out to that clipping point, just about takes the sign out.
Oh, look at that car that he's heading towards.
But a good run for McManaway. So nice early initiation for McManaway. And that's where the section actually starts there.
Yeah.
Fairly shallow through the first corner.
He's only about 7 metres off his clip at that point there. Gets on it there though.
A couple of inches from the second clipping point.
That was pretty good too.
And out of zone, really good. Little speed on the wipers there for McManaway. And the screaming LS. Geez, that rain's coming down even harder.
Oh. Okay, this is the second run now for the JDM man. It is James McManaway. Haven't seen his first set of scores come through yet, but we'll see them shortly after he finishes this run. He's going to want to get the rear end of that car a lot further up. We really need to look at getting our Launchmaster Willie a jacket down to him.
So James is fairly shallow again through the first turn of the run, but filling the rest of the outer zone, so setting him up for the latter part of the run to be pretty good. He's in the S15 this weekend.
That's incredible. Every time you see them, you think they're just going to wipe off the track. But no, they're the cream of the crop.
Carrying extra speed into the final turn this time, McManaway. And look at the water pouring off the rear tyres.
All right. Are there scores coming through? There are. 77, 79, 82. That's an average of 79.3. 79.3 currently would be 8th position for James McMahon. We're waiting for his second score to come through as we slowly start to make our way to the left. And oh, is this the third run? No, this is the replay.
The judges take another look at the S15.
Of course, the judges not watching these replays. They've got their own.
And now we turn live. It is Luke Fink's turn. He's in the 180 JDM.
So we switch from one purple car to another. And here he comes, the controversy, the Yoka. It is the angry Australian. And my friend, it is Luke Fink in the 180. Oh, look at that. That's how you set a score.
So Luke getting nice and close to those clipping points.
Just perfect.
And watch him wash wide here. This is where you seem to think they all look like that's actually
that's perfect as well.
Extremely close to the clipping point. Fills out that last one. And
no corrections, not any movement in there. The car just wanted to look. Oh, look at that! Didn't even touch it, and the clipping point just fell over because it's Luke Fink. The clipping points are scared of him. Luke Fink. Have we got any Luke Fink fans out there? If you love him, post a heart. If you can't stand him, make sure you give us an angry face. Anyway, just get in there and react for this incredible man that is Luke Fink, who's gone back-to-back runs. Having a look, see this. The judges will be. They can't obviously hear us down there. We were actually about 300 metres away from them.
300, I think we're probably more like more, is it?
Kilometre? I don't know.
Well, as the crow flies at 300-400 metres.
All right.
So we've got the heart reactions coming through for Luke.
Yeah,
Look at that. Hit the heart. Give us a heart reaction for Luke Fink fans out there.
Yeah, there we go. If you're a Luke Fink fan, give us a heart. Post a heart. If you can't stand him, just share the post. Tiana's just shared it. That's his wife. That's all right, let's go back down to Wet Master Willie. Sorry, Launch Master Willie. He said, off you go, Aussie. Oh, he is such a character.
So, once again, a massive early initiation.
Oh, he's just on it. Look, that's perfect as well.
The perfect arc around that first
More
turn.
perfection.
And he's going to wash wide here and pick up the second clipping zone.
That was perfect.
Probably not as good as his first run this time, though.
What are you watching, Tony?
Luke Fink in the JDM Motorsport 180. And he's going to be very close to the clipping point there as well. Luke Fink.
Oh, just sensational. That wasn't a correction either. That's just perfect. Luke Fink, my mate. Let's have a look at the points after the first one. It was a 90, a 92 and a 93 for an average of 91.7. He's currently sitting in third position. Let's have a look and see what happens in this replay. Oh, he backed that one in from round one. He's got so much angle. He's angle pun.
And good to see him out there in, I guess, the number one car or number 1 or 2 car. You know, the car that he was meant to drive in the first round after, I think the head lifted off it.
Oh, wow.
Something was happening at round 1, so he ended up in that R32. And Luke Fink. Leapfrogs up into third spot, so running through the top 5. Troy Jenkins.
I can't see this. Oh, yeah, okay, carry on.
Still hanging on with an 88.7 in the top 5. Sam West into 4th place with 90.0. Luke Fink sitting in 3rd, 91.7. Clayton Deli, 93.3. And Jordan Joyce sits atop at the moment with a 95. That's your top 5 in the Pro Sport qualifying here at Hampton Downs. And we go to another internal shot. It is now the 187 car of Taylor James. And he's recently put NOS in this car as if 1,000 horsepower RB32 wasn't enough.
Absolutely, and just while we're out there, okay, what is coming up? We've got Manfield Circuit, Chris Amon and Fielding. That's going to be rounds number 3 and 4. Bay Park Stadium, of course, coming up as well. And Dan Dobbin, you're most welcome, mate. I like to mention every comment, every one of your drivers 6 times in a run. This is another initiate to get the point. Creepin'. Well, if it's creepin', that is Cody Pullenbury. Because I stole the number plate that he lost once at Tauranga, and it's hanging in my man cave.
So, Cody Pullenbury.
Oh, here you go. So Sam West's windscreen fogged up in a second, which is why I couldn't see.
So earlier in practice, Steve, we saw this car getting pushed back into the pits, and from what I understand, it's gearbox issues for Cody Pullenbury. Jeez, I'll make a mirror of that one.
Cody Pullenbury.
Thank you very much.
Like the curry, it's Pullenbury.
Core Civil Construction on the side of those two beautifully presented cars. Cody has initiated, much like Sean Potros had to as well, and they'll be busy overnight.
All right. Well, here you go. This is what it looks like to ride in the back seat of Taylor James's. What on high boost, it's only 1100 horsepower. When you put a 50 shot of nitrous, it becomes a great time.
Yes, I mean, I don't think Tay's going to need the nitrous shots today.
No, he doesn't think he's going to be needing them until Bay Park.
Oh, RB34, sorry, I said
just
32.
34.
So Central Water Recyclers, JRI Insurance, Taylor James from the Central Drift team.
Launch Master Willie.
They're in the hard mahi, isn't he?
Because he wants the hard treat.
How much do you think he's looking forward to a hot shower?
I don't think he cares. You know, he rode in on his Indian, and he lives on his Indian motorbike today, just wearing that. He doesn't care.
He doesn't look phased one bit, does he?
Nothing phases Willie. You know why? Because the water would not be able to stick to his beautiful skin. It would just be bouncing off. He's just, okay, bro, I'm going to let Tay go. Tay's getting wet.
2NZ of the door of Taylor James's car, of course, second in the championship last year. He's got the number 13 on it this year, not the 187. Jeez, it's about the 17th time I've been wrong this morning, this afternoon.
18th.
Oh, 18 degrees here at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park for the high and 13 degrees low. I bet you if we asked Willie, probably say it feels like 21 for him. So Taylor James leaves the line for the first of his qualifying passes. Initiates well before the section starts to get in the arc of that first corner. And looking pretty good on that outer zone is Taylor James. That RB34. Very shallow through the second clipping point. He's a couple of metres off that one. And we'll take a look on the inside there. A bit of handbrake work going on for James. Just trying to position the car.
Now I wish I had have gone, because I know they talked to the judges didn't want to see any handbrakes. You're allowed to into the last turn. That was a correction.
So Taylor James coming through, washing nice and wide to pick up that final clipping point. Love the noise of those winters.
And just to remind, this is a back-to-back qualifying. So you do the first one, you come through with the second one. And they'll come through, and that's a really nice arc that Taylor had at this point here. Not too much correction, and just showing the great sideways shot as we look. See how that just flipped it? That's called a line cross. We love those things there.
A line cross, do Steve?
A line cross.
What does that do?
I'll tell you afterwards, because then I wouldn't have to bag out some of the competition. All right, let's have a look at the second run out of Tukurua's Taylor James, 1100 horsepower. I'd say he has dialed that right back for these conditions. Again, a nice bit of yanking on the handbrake for that one there. See how close he can get out to the
second outer clipping point for Taylor as we take a good look on the inside shot of him there. As comes through for the third outer zone. It's nice and wide.
Better?
Yeah, a lot less handbrake for Taylor in the second run. Nice and smooth on the steering wheel there. Grabs the handbrake for a little dab into the final turn. And the second one certainly looking better than the first one. from CDT, the Central Drift Team's Taylor James. Big angle on that final
corner. That is a little way out there. And then Mungy's down the straight.
Look how nice and calm and slow he is on the steering wheel. Oh, take a look at that replay again. Handbrakes to initiate well before the section starts, and that's where it starts there with that cone. And he washes wide, but he grabs a little bit of handbrake, trying to slide it right out to fulfill that outer clip.
I really hope the judges are scoring for the conditions now.
Absolutely.
So yep. Taylor's sitting on, his first run was 80 points average. Second run, 82 points, 82, 85, 82, average of 83. So Taylor James sitting in 83 points, 8th position currently. Jordan Joyce still sitting at the top with a 95.
Oh yeah, no change in the top 5 after the last couple of runs.
Jeremy Slamit, EFI and Turbo, one of the JDM cars. NZKW on the windscreen. So 2JZ under the bonnet, the boy from New Caledonia. From New Caledonia, it is Jeremy Slamit behind the wheel. Second full season of D1NZ. He turned up in New Zealand maybe 3 or 4 years ago. He went to Sky Zhao's Drift Academy, went through and won the first the Drift Challenge, and from there went on to great things. Well supported by mum and dad. His little bro and his partner always here supporting.
Was it Kevin from New Caledonia earlier?
Yeah, sure was. I first met Kevin, I don't know, I think it was at Taupo a few years ago.
Another look at Slamit's run there. For the drivers using a little bit of left foot brake throughout. Any mention of that, Steve?
I think they were more concerned about the handbrake to settle the car rather than the left foot braking. Left foot braking, we can tell it from the, of course, the LED strip that runs along both the top and the bottom of the windscreens. Sorry, the top of the front and the rear windscreens.
A great fill of that final outer zone, or sorry, not the final, second to last outer zone for Slamit there. And also a great one on the final. Launch Master Willie gives him the thumbs up to leave the line for the second of his run. Slamit banks an 88.3 for the first of his runs, puts him at a 6th spot as he sits before his run number 2.
Let's see what we can do this time here at Hampton Downs, round 2. This is qualifying Pro Championship tomorrow. It is battle time. JDM on the door, the new Caledonian kid. Slamit settles the car nicely as he brings it through for the only right-hander.
Oh, nice tidy run for the second one of this for Slamit. A nice little dab. That's actually a real clean run. The arc off the first corner as well. We'll see it in the replay in a minute. And that is surely enough to get him up into the top 5.
Now, of course, one of the thing I want to know is his rear tyres stayed on the track. So does that mean that hitting the cone with the rear of the car actually just filled that better than anyone else has?
That's it, yeah.
I mean, that was close there too.
There's only half a metre for his wheels being off the track, but the bumper was a mere inches and less than a metre as well on that clipping point, which I've seen closer than most other drivers.
So Jeremy Slamit did an 89, a 90 and 86 in his first run of the day. That was good for an 88.3. This is a replay of the second run as the judges deliberate to see, well, which way are they going to rule.
Oh yeah, tyres staying on the track there well within that white line as well. So yeah, I mean those cones were just a little bit too close if anything. And it'll be extra style points. Next on the line is Opal's Connor Halligan. So Jeremy Slamit's score comes through for the second half of his, or second run of his qualifying. 89.3 puts him into the top 5. As Connor Halligan leaves the line, he's in the 1.5 JZ S14, 700 horsepower under the bonnet of his Sylvia.
It's because the 1.5 JZ, if it was a 2 JZ at 900. Out of Topor. Woo.
Oh, that's even closer again than I think we've seen anyone on that first clipping point. Connor Halligan.
That's nice as well.
Great on the second one. Looks to fulfill the third out of zone really well. A little bit of a handbrake drag coming in. He's going to wash wide to pick up the fourth out of zone. Clipping point. Oh, a little bit of a correction there for Halligan. That's some great car control in the wet.
Yes, that's what I like to see. Just boom, backhanded. So I've had it. Daylight TM replay. This is Connor Halligan, former pro sport champion. Out of Topor, Jason Over's builders on the door of that 1.5 JZ, and look how close he gets.
Yeah, Connor with a real clean run here. Gets real close to that ribble strip, stays just off it, a little bit of a dab at the handbrake. And it's just a little mistake here, just a little correction as he comes off that outer zone. But other than that, will be a good scoring run for Halligan. And getting to all those clipping points. Look at that.
I love it.
The shot.
I've had a friend staying from Australia for the last couple of days, and he's come across to, actually you're into your speedway, he's a former New Zealand sprint car champion, Ben Finnimore.
Ah.
So shout out to
a six-shooter the other night. He did, yeah.
Shout out to Bell, his partner, Cooper and Renee, watching in Queensland, in the mighty Australia. As we look at the second run with Connor Halligan's, let's see if he can get any closer. Tried.
A better looking arc actually, if anything, in the first turn for Connor this time around, and real close to that second outer clip. Cone that's sitting on the outside of the track there. The line that Connor's thrown down on this one, it's nothing short of perfect at the moment. And this time he's kept it, no corrections through here.
So this man here sitting on an 88.7 after his first run. He got some good scores in there as well. He's been wanting to improve. We'll see how he does as he comes out of the final turn.
Rolling straight to the Daylight Team replay on this one. And check how smooth the arc is through the first of that. Look at that, nice and close to that clip. Right out to that second cone as well. I want to say uneducated, but you always tell me I'm not allowed to say that, Steve. So my very professional Angadam Woolhouse on the Castrol RTR. Oh, here we go. You know this one way better than I do, Steve.
Driving the Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5D with the Coyote V8 under the bonnet. It is the 4x New Zealand Drift King RTR Century batteries and Castrol. This is Fangadan Woolhouse. I'll go back to sleep now.
Oh, that's so good.
Fangadan, the 4x champion, he's got his new hauler, and he's actually, look at this, he's just like, he said, look at the rear of my car, now check out the front, and how good does that look? Don't worry about anything. He didn't fix his door between rounds. What's going on, Daniel?
A very uncharacteristic mistake from Fangadan.
Nah, he just wanted, like, we're talking about how cool his car was, and he was like, check out the front.
Here's the back.
Check
Here's the
out the front. Caught up with Fanga yesterday.
He just throws it in there. Big angle. He almost hung on to it.
You know, I know he's been suffering from some bit of power steering issues, and he's been using a type of power steering that has been used. In the end, he just threw the whole lot away and said, I'm just going to go back to some simple stuff. And he said he's found the car so much easier to drive. I'm just wondering whether or not he put that power steering back in.
So, with 3 1s and a 1 next to his name.
We've got 4 1s, but they're all in the form of a champion. Look, if you're going to see the cream to rise to the top, Fanga can do it.
So he's nice and
okay, now he's just going to set a score because he's well off his line. Now that's going to, so for him, he's like, okay, I need to get myself into a certain position on the, there's like smoke in the background of the tyres. A big handbrake drag. I wonder if he's actually broken something underneath, or like in the actual, you know, whether it's steering or something like that. Maybe he's lost his power steering. Again, a big handbrake drag. He's going to be severely marked down, but he's going to set a score that is substantially better than a 0.
Absolutely, yeah. So very conservative, somewhat, of what we've seen of Whangar Dan.
All right, well, let's ride on board with Dave Steadman in the RB32 powered plant. Look, he's just out of Tauranga. Dave Steadman. Has he got his helmet on? Oh, yes, he does, sorry.
Oh, Dave, fella, fresh off his second place podium at round number 1.
Immaculately presented cars are the Repco 24/7 Napa Auto Parts Mimico machines. And he'll get straight to work. He's in his office.
Dave Steadman initiates into the section nice and early, as we've seen all these drivers do in the pro class.
Again, somebody else who was going to say isn't really trying to press the limits, but still just then he was like 300 off his.
So you see him there, you're going on the visor up and down. So obviously we spoke about Sam West having the fog problems, and Dave Steadman getting a bit of air up under the helmet.
His head, like just how sideways their heads are when they're looking at the different things. You'll see it through here, and just a big drag.
Love the noise that those Winters diffs make as well. Straight cut gearboxes. Looks like a sequential in the tunnel there. Dave doesn't look too happy in the body language, but nonetheless he's banked himself a score. Dave Steadman will take another look at that in the Dale ITM replay. So pretty good arc. Not too aggressive on the lines.
Up and down, just clearing the fog. And that is actually legitimately okay to do.
Good angle for Dave through the centre part there. Not as close as we've seen the other drivers to that clipping zone. And nice little drag on the handbrake to get him into that final corner. Get the big angle he's stacked on as well there.
And of course, Dave Steadman, he should have come out after Sean Potros. If you're just joining us, Sean Potros actually qualified in first or second qualifier because he's got engine issues. We think that the engine's basically ready to let go. So Sean, he's gone off. They've got rid of the car. They're off to go and try and fix it ahead of tomorrow. This is a top 24. There are only 22 cars in pro. And that's what they've got to look at, the moisture. Okay, let's see what Dave can do. Dave Steadman can do in a second run. Second to last car after this will be our round 1 winner.
Having banked a good score in the first qualifying run, it looks like he's a bit more aggressive into this one. Dave Steadman this time around, and the S14 RB powered. Geez, those Napa Auto Parts Mimico cars always look real good on track, don't they? Can't forget Repco 24/7.
Or AWS, who designed them. Andrew Stewart. Again.
He a good design, doesn't he? Across all forms of motorsport. Yeah, definitely more aggressive line this time as around from Dave Steadman. Second in the championship at the moment.
Now, Dave Steadman, he's after his first run of the day, was at 81 and 82 and a 78 for 80.3 points. This is his second run, the second to last run of qualifying pro, qualifying for round 2 of the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship here at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. Comes through the centre section.
Good angle there for Dave Steadman. And this time gets out to that cone a lot better than he saw in his first run.
What is this?
Oh, so the second half of Michael Thorley's run.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Thorley nice and close to the clipping point there, big angle. So Thorley, he's only completed 1 run at the moment, and then he went to get his mechanical, and actually, this is a really good-looking run from Thorley as well, in his spare Laurel. Of course, having issues down south. Hang on to that there. adjusted, a little wheel drift, slight deduction as we call it.
And he'll come through to finish the lap here, back onto the front straight. And that will be all she wrote for Michael Thorley.
Oh, just
I think
one
we'll probably be going straight to... No, we're going to see the replay. So Michael Thorley, the left front tail light out. Nice start of this lap here. You can see him right out by that cone. Almost grabs it. Again, you'll see the car slowly start to wash out, filling that outer zone. Heads to the left-hand side, just running the ripple strips. And then at this point here, you'll see him put a right rear tyre off, knocks over the cone, but the rest of the lap, very, very clean.
Fills those outer zones real nicely. Coming through the final one as well, final corner. Ever so close. So, last car on the line, Steve.
Yeah, certainly the last car on the line. The Core Civil Construction JT Performance. The Go Loco 2JZ under the bonnet. CK Earthworks on the bonnet as well. This is the man who won his first ever round. He won on debut in the Pro Championship, and he is leading the 2023 4 New Zealand Drifting Championship so far. This is Case Pullenbury.
So, throws it in nice and early, pulls on the angle before the section even started, and then he almost had to recorrect the car just to get himself into the section. He's a little bit shallow through the first part of it, Case Pullenbury. And some good angle through there. Throws it into the third outer zone. A little drag on the handbrake, some left foot brake for Pullenbury. Pretty good through there as well. Pours on a little bit more angle. Run number 1 for Case Pullenbury, and is qualifying for the Pro Championship, qualifying here at Hampton Downs.
And he'll come through to finish. That's just a nice smooth run, very smooth run. As we're getting close to the track curfew, we'll have a look at the replay. So, big angle, and then, yeah, he's had to lock the front brake, and he's scrubbed off a fair bit of speed.
That's all before the section even starts. So, interestingly enough, holds the arc, doesn't quite drive it as deep as he'd probably like through that first corner.
Settling the car down with that left foot braking.
And then, I mean, from what we know of Case Pullenbury, I'd probably call that fairly conservative, yeah?
Yeah. Again, a dab you talked about on the handbrake. And then he gets through, comes through. There's an inside clip to an outside. Again, dialed on a heap of angle, and that is starting. When you put on that much angle, you lose momentum. It almost looked like he was sort of shaking his head, but back on the gas again, regains a bit more composure, and then back on the gas to finish.
Yeah, I want to say he wasn't that shallow, but he was shallow compared to just about every other driver we've seen on that final corner as well. Case Pullenbury.
Well, this will be the last run of the day. We can go and get Willie everything that was written in there. A towel, an umbrella, a hug. See that? That was an extremely fast McLaren, and he just smoked him with the 2J.
So here he goes again. That's the start of the section there, and Case Pullenbury this time he's out further, and he's got a stack of angle on.
That's such a clean lap.
You can hear the throttle control with so much water under tyre.
Yeah, it's a bit off there, but you can see just came through, almost clutch kicked it. And again, arcs off. We'll see how close he gets up here. Yeah, it's clean, it's on it. But it's a clean lap.
All right, a little drag of the handbrake, gets right to that outer zone.
Judges didn't mind a fair bit of drag coming into that final turn. Back on the gas again.
This time he's a lot closer to that final clipping point as well. Comes through to finish the lap. We'll check out the replay of that one.
Let's have a look at the replay. Thanks to Dale, ITM. The last run of the day, the man who leads the championship. Go Loco. This is the Core Civil 2JZ. It is Case Pullenbury behind the wheel.
Once again, you see there, Steve, it was a big initiation before the section even started. And so he gets the car into the perfect position that he wants at the start of the run, and then fills out those outer zones. Probably what I'd say is a lot better than the first one.
After this, we'll go through and check the scores. As everyone's starting to pack down, I think we've just... It's all right. All right, let's go up and we'll have a look at some of the scores from qualifying. Here they are. Jordan Joyce takes it out with a 95 from Connor Halligan. Clayton Deli, 93.3. Luke Fink, 91. He got pipped. Sam Weston, 90. The next 5.
We go back to Jeremy Slamit in 6th place. He had an 89.3. Troy Jenkins, 88.7. Michael Thorley in 8th with an 88.3 average. Dave Steadman, 9th with an 88.0. And Bruce Tannock round out your top 10.
As we look at the second page, we've got Ben Jenkins in 11th from Taylor James. Adam Davies, 82.7. Case Pullenburry, he managed to crawl up and get himself into an 80.7 for 14th. James McMahon away 15th, 79.3.
Calvin Clark finished in 16th with a 74.7. Kurt Blacky, 72.2 now, 72.7, sorry. And a name you don't often see down as far as 18th. Fanger Dan Woolhouse, 69.3. We go down to Jaren OBrien, had a couple of spins with a 1. And Sean Potros at the very bottom with a 1 as well. Of course, massive engine issues for Sean Potros. Those boys have loaded that car off. They're off for a big night, and not the way that Sean's probably hoping to be, probably at the casino rather than in a workshop pulling that motor out.
That's right. Well, I think we're looking at that last run again and its completion for Case Pullenburry.
So your top qualified, Jordan Joyce.
There's some Jordan Joyce fans out there in the wonderful world of Facebook.
Yeah, we want to see what some heart reactions for Jordan Joyce, finishing in the #1 spot. Elite performance. Ox Street Autos, there he is. Case Pullenburry, your current championship leader in the Core Silver Construction S15.
So Tony, look, we've seen qualifying today. It's obviously, this is just one half of it. Tomorrow we do it all over again, but it's battle time.
Yeah, I mean, the drifting's been good out there, and these guys showing the skill on the wet track. But yeah, I think we're going to see a completely different lot of conditions here tomorrow.
Who's been the ones that have shone for you?
Well, I mean, Jordan Joyce obviously sitting at top, right atop there, but I think Sam West looked pretty good apart from the windscreen fogging problem that he had.
Well, this is the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship. It is round number 2 here at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park, part of the 7th round of the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand Championship. We look forward to seeing you guys all again tomorrow, of course, on Facebook and on Sky Sport Live. We'll see you then.